I'm not writing this for you, Caleb. You may never read it. I'm writing it because I have been sitting with something for 4 days, and I have learned, at 53, that the things you don't put somewhere have a way of putting themselves in you instead. The night before you left for college, you stood in the kitchen doorway with your duffel bag and your new shower caddy, and you looked, for just a moment, like you were 9 years old again. Uncertain, a little soft around the edges. You said you were nervous, and I said that was good, that meant it mattered, and you nodded like that was the answer you needed. I watched you load the car, and I thought, I would do anything, not as a transaction, not as a condition, just as a fact about myself that felt as simple and permanent as my own name. I've been thinking about that moment a lot this week. Paula sent me the link on a Tuesday, no message. Just the URL sitting in the text thread between a photo of her garden and a question about the neighborhood meeting. I don't think she meant it unkindly. I think she assumed I already knew, or that I would want to. People make that assumption about information without always thinking through what it means to be the last to receive it. I watched it on my phone at the kitchen table. Your voice, your face, close to the camera, the way you hold it when you're performing for people you want to like you. You were doing a bit. I understand that. I understand the format. I am not as unfamiliar with how these things work as you seem to believe. The bit was about parents who are out of touch. Parents who embarrass. You used my name twice. Not a character, not my mom, my name Barbara, like a punchline that worked better with the specificity. 40,000 people agreed with you by the time Paula sent it to me. I watched it 3 times. Not once in shock and not twice to make sure I had heard correctly. 3 times, deliberately, because I was trying to understand something about the person you had been when the camera was on. Whether I recognized him. Whether I should have seen him coming. I recognized him a little. That's the part I had been sitting with. I opened the banking app afterward. The next semester payment was scheduled for the 14th. Automatic. The way I had set it up deliberately so you would never have to ask, and I would never have to be thanked, because I had wanted the money to feel like weather, just something that arrived, reliable and impersonal, so you could focus on other things. I looked at it for a long time. I didn't cancel it. I want to be honest about that. I sat there with my thumb near the screen, and I didn't cancel it, and I have been trying to understand that too. Whether it was love or habit, or some combination that I can't cleanly separate at this point. Here is what I came to. Alone at that table, I had spent 18 years making myself easy, answering every ask before you finished asking, removing friction, removing cost, removing the inconvenient truth that my support had a human being attached to it, who could be tired, who could be hurt, who could watch a video 3 times trying to find herself in the punchline. I had taught you by careful and consistent example that I had no edges, that I was a resource with a personality attached, rather than a person who had chosen, repeatedly and at real cost, to give. I had done that. I'm not absolving you, but I had done that. You called on Saturday about the housing deposit. You needed my confirmation by Friday. Your voice was normal, warm, slightly distracted, the voice you use when you need something and feel reasonably confident it will arrive. I said, I saw the video, Caleb. The silence was not long, maybe 4 seconds. But it was a different kind of silence than any that had existed between us before. The silence of someone recalibrating rapidly, the landscape of a conversation they thought they had mapped. You started to explain. I let you get 3 sentences in, and then I said quietly that I didn't need the explanation right now. What I needed was for you to sit with it for a few days, the way I had. I told you I would cover the housing deposit. I told you that was not in question, but I told you that going forward I needed one thing I had never asked for before. I needed you to know that I was a person, not a punchline, not a resource, not background material for content that 40,000 strangers found relatable at my expense. I needed you to know that, and I needed you to show me you knew it. Not in a phone call, not in an apology formatted for my comfort, but slowly, over time, in the ordinary ways people show each other they matter. I don't know if you will. I find at 53 that I am still capable of hoping. That surprises me a little. I would still do anything. I just need you to know that anything has a face now. It has always been mine.